This is an instructional video on how to turn an ordinary wine bottle into a drinking glass or candle holder. First, you will need 2 bottles, a wine bottle cutter, which you can find at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and then sandpaper. I like to use medium and fine. You will also need some hot water, so I boiled some with a tea kettle, and then a bucket of ice water, but if you don't have a bucket, then you can definitely just fill your sink. Now before we get started, I wanted to go over a couple of things. There are some dangers associated with this just because we are dealing with breaking glass as well as pouring boiling water. So, first off, make sure that you're at least 18 years of age or you have your parent or guardian helping you out throughout all of the steps that we're going to go over today. So as far as safety precautions, first off, definitely make sure that you do have a pair of safety goggles, or I use sunglasses, just to make sure that your eyes are protected once we actually start pouring this boiling water and get the glass to start to chip, just because you don't want any of those chips flying in your eye. And then also make sure that you do have some safety gloves, maybe a pair of dishwashing gloves or some hardware gloves, just anything that can protect you from not only the heat of the boiling water, but also any glass shards that may break off. Now the first thing that we're going to do is actually fill our water bucket with water and ice so that can start to chill, as well as fill our tea kettle with water so that we can get that to start boiling while we actually start cutting our glass. Now to get that to boil, I'm just going to put it on my stove and turn my stove to high and let the kettle do its work. Now we are actually going to cut a line in the glass so that we actually have a nice clean line to break later on. So we're just going to use this glass cutter, which I got from Michael's. Really easy to find and pretty easy to use. So the first thing is you want to make sure that that glass cutter is actually lined up with the glass at the point that you want to cut. Then we're going to tighten the wing nuts up top so that that is nice and secure. Then we're going to make sure that our glass cutter is nice and lined up and is at a 90-degree angle to the glass that we are cutting. This makes sure that we will have a nice flat line once we actually break the glass. Otherwise you can end up getting jagged pieces and some fissures that'll go all the way up into the glass. So we're just going to tighten this second arm so that we actually make sure that it is at 90 degrees and tighten both of those nuts. Then we're going to hold the top and stabilize at the bottom and just start to turn the glass. Now it is very, very important that you only go over the etching once. Do not ever etch again. That can cause the glass to break in your hands. Now here you can see the line that we etched. It's nice and clean, and that should be where the glass actually breaks. Now to get the glass to break cleanly, we're going to have to stress it. So that's what the hot and cold water is for. So we're going to begin by pouring that boiling water right over the etched line, and do that nice and slowly, and make sure you are turning the bottle completely around so that you actually heat the entire bottle. Then we'll dip it into the cold bath and just kind of let that sit in there for a little while. You may want to swirl it around to get it closer to the ice, and you will start to hear some crackling. That is good. That is the sound of the glass starting to crack along that edge. It does not always work after one try, so you may have to start again, but be careful on the second time because it should pretty much break right away just like that. Now mine actually came out really cleanly, so I'm going to start off with the medium grit. This will get off the rough edges and just really start to smooth off the lip of the glass. Now if you did get rougher edges or you have big chunks that did not come off and you'd like to grind those off, I would suggest getting a grinder or a file from your hardware store, preferably one that can fit into the front of your drill, just so that it saves time. It'll be a little bit easier that way. And then once you get it ground and sanded to your liking, then you can take that fine grit and that will really smooth off the edge so that you have a nice edge to drink off of. And there we have it. We finished sanding and we have our nice smooth drinking glass. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you liked the video. Now go out and get creative. Have fun recycling.